Poultry keeping continues to be one of the most popular enterprises among small-scale farmers in Kenya. In the recent past, the poultry industry has been hit by an overflow of eggs in the market. Some farmers claim there are eggs coming in from our neighboring countries, while others say it is a situation created by middlemen and an overproduction of eggs in the country as well. In every challenge comes a step to grow and become more resilient. Kimani from Matasia is a true example and has turned his challenges into opportunities for growth and self-transformation. He keeps 3,000 birds of the layers breed on this quarter-acre piece of land and has now started doing value addition by baking hens, expanding a market for his own eggs. Kimani starts us off by demonstrating how he prepares for his daily chores. A few steps to be followed through before entering a poultry house, such as disinfecting, is really essential. In Kimani's farm, anyone that enters the poultry house should and must dress appropriately to ensure diseases are not passed on to the chicken house.
I actually have to dress like this because I really take care of these cuckoos. Actually, this is my core business, the cuckoos. So that is what I'm always afraid of in terms of biosecurity. If you don't have biosecurity, you're finished. Umeisha. So this is what I go in with. And first of all, I really don't go in there a lot. Because mimi ni mtu wa kutembea tembea.
The crew too was given a set of protective gears.
This is yours. What do you want for this? The reason I'm giving you this is because of biosecurity. That is infections that these cuckoos normally have. In case you're not from this environment, I don't know where you came from. Maybe you have other cuckoos or you passed through another farm. So you actually have to wear this so that I don't bring in germs or bacteria that will affect the chicken. So you have to dress up. And quite big, eh? Yeah. Karibu. Umeweka hapa ndani. Eh?
Researchers have shown that there are at least 24 different sounds chicken can make, and maybe as many as 30. While chickens don't nearly have the vocabulary as humans have, and their chicken brains don't allow for abstract and deep conversations, they're still a very vocal breed. As we enter the poultry house, the chickens clearly expressed their discomfort.
What inspired me to actually start this project is that I used to love chicken since I was very small. I used to tend to my father's flock. So actually when I used to look at them, I used to be satisfied. I used to see a lot of wealth when I was very small. In fact, I used to see that this would be one of the things that I'd love to do when I grow up. So that is why I started doing this. Well, here I am. My dream came true. The starting capital wasn't easy because I had to have a bit of some money. Also building the structure itself was a lot of money. And also having to know about managing the chicken wasn't easy. So what I did is that I had to actually pursue finances in different ways. I also that is taking a loan, and also a bit of my savings, and also a bit of payments that I had been paid by my clients. So that is how I started it. And I also had to, engage in professionals who are good at chicken, and they actually do chicken 24 hours. So I had to engage with them. They came and trained me on how to do it. Plus the little knowledge I had when I was small, I combined and I was good to go.
Like many farmers, Kimani took a different course in school, but later on, he settled for poultry farming.
I actually did cooler system engineering, also did sound production. So those are the things that I did. So I found myself here. But I've also done a lot of things before I started this. I tried so many things, and my heart just settled here in the chicken business.
There are different breeds of chicken available in the market. Commercial farming requires research on various factors such as climatic conditions of your area, your target market. This is to ensure that the breed you choose to keep will be profitable.
What I had to do so that I can be able to choose the best flock, I first had to go to the internet, and I actually did a study on the kind of breeds that we have of the layer birds. So I identified 2 types of layer birds. I was also able to talk to a professional on regarding the birds, how are they performing with the current weather or the weather patterns in Kenya. So they had to clarify and tell me that either they're good for me or they're bad. And so I decided to actually go for 2 types. Actually, this is the Highline. It's called Highline. And Highline is a bird that really lays a lot, but it's a smaller kind of bird. It's not big, it's smaller in body structure. So this for me was okay because my core business was the eggs itself. And I got from a credible company. And that also is called Shavers, the 2000. Shavers is rather a bigger bird. Also, it really lays a lot of eggs. And also I got that from a credible source. So I had to do internet so that I can know. So, I mean, without the knowledge of the bird itself, you just can't go and start saying, I want layers. You have to know your area, the weather that is in your area, and so that you can know how to proceed from then.
Once you acquire your chicks, just like with human toddlers, one is required to pay special attention during brooding to reduce the mortality rate. Kimani was lucky to have a small percentage of the mortality rate.
I actually started with 1,000 of them, 1,000 layers. It wasn't a walk in the park because when they came, I actually had to spend a few nights with them when they were brooding because it was my first time doing hybrid birds. I was used to actually the meat birds, that is the broilers. So this was a different, this was a different kind of bird. So I actually used to transnight so that I would be able to know what is going on and also study the bird. So I had just a mortality rate of 15 out of 1,000 the first time, of which for me was quite good. So I had also to follow the vaccination steps that I had to take. I had to call in a professional who actually guided me on how to vaccinate. On the age, depending on the age, I had to vaccinate for Newcastle, I had to vaccinate for Gumboro, I had to vaccinate for IB, that is infectious bronchitis, and I also had to debeak when they were about 3 months old. So there are steps that you have to follow so that you can also be able to reach where you want to. If you don't follow those steps, what happens is that you will definitely lose your whole flock because there are also bacteria everywhere, we can't hide away from bacteria. So you can end up having a mortality rate of, or even losing the whole of the flock that you have.
The cost of poultry feeds has significantly gone up following the introduction of 16% VAT on all animal feeds. The increase, which has come when there is a decline in the price of poultry products such as eggs, has forced many farmers to abandon poultry keeping or resort to making their own feeds.
What I'd advise farmers who want to start their milling, first of all, even if you have a formulation from heaven, if your raw materials are bad, they are bad. So before you run to start doing your formulation, first you have to check your material. Number two, you also have to have a good formulation if the materials are good. You have to know how many amino acids you have to balance. Some of us used to do 21 amino acids, so you have to know how to balance them. And you also have to know how to maneuver in terms of actually how they're supposed to get where you are. Because people are talking about making your own feeds, but there is also science behind it. Because there is no way you'll give like chicken feed that doesn't have enough amino acids, nutrients, and expect it to perform as it is supposed to perform. So you have to know what you're doing, you have to know how you're supposed to formulate, and you have to know your material. It was quite good for me because I was hitting a 95% on production. So when I was doing my own formulation, because I had also other friends who are actually assisting me a bit on that. So we brainstorm together and see what we are supposed to do. But now we actually started got a consignment that was not good. So it actually really brought me down, because it really, the investment that I had already investment, or the goals that I had in mind, all went down. So I actually decided not to pursue that line, with all my working power or financial power. So I decided to just pause on producing my own feed. So I lost a lot of money because of a consignment that was not good, because I had invested on many farmers, but it didn't turn out that way. So what I'd say is that always think twice before you do it. Don't just jump because your friend is doing it. You don't know the problems he has, because they never say. So just take care. Yeah, just take care. I imported this, and it cost me roughly about 500,000. That is $500,000 to bring this. It might look small, but the kind of work it does is a lot, because in 1 hour it can do 14 bags. So if I only have these birds, they are 3,000, and they do per week roughly about 28 bags. So this comes in handy. I just mill for 2 hours and I'm good to go. So it's actually a machine that you can also use even as a commercial machine.